this Just Good logo right in my forehead, dog. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, because you got to be seen. You're right.
Saying,
You got to be
not
seen.
complaining. I'm cool with the, but you good.
Actually, hold on one second. Let me.
Like I was looking at the past video, like Just Good was just all in my grill the whole time of the show.
You're right. Hold on one second. Go ahead and change that up. Okay, cool. We're good right here. Let me go ahead, and if you guys can too, I'm gonna go ahead and share it. If you guys are able to do that on Twitter, Facebook. If not, that is fine. Share it to the groups real quick. Just do it via the computer.
Not complaining.
Thank y'all for y'all patience. Go ahead and get this rolling. I'm going to try to share it on the groups. Thank y'all for y'all patience. I'm going to try to share it on the groups. What's up, Chuck? I see you already. Comments. I appreciate the love, man. Thank y'all for y'all patience. I'm going to try to share it on the groups. Chuck, I see you already. Comments. I appreciate the love, man. Thank y'all for your patience. I'm going to try to share it on the groups. Chuck, I see you already. Comments. I appreciate the love, man.
A lot of dirty birds in the house. Absolutely. Say Jalen looking like Michael Thomas.
Oh, I kind of take that as an insult. I'm not gonna lie.
We got to just roll with that one.
Say you got an echo. Who got an echo? I do.
I think I'm good over here.
I don't know. Is it me?
I don't hear an echo.
Chuck said somebody got an echo.
Is it me?
I thought it was me because of.
I see. I'm in an empty room,
looking at
so I be hearing my own echo. So I be. It's Jensen.
Yeah, he said
All right, you guys ready to get started?
Like roll.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, let's get it. Jansen Harris here with the Flying High podcast on the Just Good Network. We're presented by Your Future Media and Got Skills Pro. For handyman and assembly furniture, visit gotskillspro.com if you're in the Atlanta area. We got a big round table today, guys. We got Q. Appreciate you coming on. Jalen, Bobby Turney, Nate, and Travis. Like always, let's talk Falcons. Let's start with Kyle Pitts, number 4 pick in the draft. Is Kyle Pitts the perfect replacement for Julio Jones? Let's start with you, Nate.
Absolutely. Depending on where they line him up at, they know he's going to be primary double tight end play personnel. But I see him a lot of splitting out, a la Travis Kelce, George Kittle in that same type of mode. I see Arthur Smith like doing all types of moving him around, putting him in the best opportunity to succeed.
Absolutely. Travis, what's your thoughts on this? Kyle Pitts, there's a lot of hype around him. A lot of people think he's going to be up there for the Rookie of the Year with Trevor Lawrence and others. Is he the perfect guy to replace Julio Jones? Is that fair to put that on him?
Well, I mean, it's not really fair, but I guess they're going to put it on him anyway because he took him with the number 4th overall pick, so he's got to live up to that expectation. But as far as him, replacing Julio. Julio can never be replaced. Let's just say that for one.
Okay.
But other than that, him coming in, it's going to fill a lot of that void because you still got that big body type receiver, that Megatron type, you know what I'm saying, that could come in and fill that production that Julio was lacking once Julio got injured. So he can fill that void, not to mention, you know what I'm saying, like you could double him up with Hayden Hurst with a double tight end set. And like I say, flex him out. He can play, you know, receiver. He can go in the slide. He can go anywhere, all over the field, pretty much. So he's going to be a very important piece to us. And along with him and Russell Gage and Frank Darby and Tajay Sharp, and there's just so many weapons, man. It's going to be pick your poison, pretty much.
Absolutely great breakdown. Looking at the comments, King's Realms, ATL, appreciate you showing love. He says Julio can't be replaced, and Travis kind of went over a lot of that. Q, what are your thoughts on Kyle Pitts, year one, replacing Julio Jones?
I'll say this. If you're looking at a person that has a genetic makeup as a freak of nature, then yes, he's the replacement. Because if you look at what Julio did while he was with Atlanta, he was always thought of as the number one target, the number one person that you had to strategize for on offense. So now you move the person that you strategize for from the wide receiver set. Now you move him to the tight end set because you know, or actually is going to be predicted, even though we have Arthur Smith as a head coach, we're still a pass heavy team because this coach and team has not been proven on the run side. So we're still going to be pass heavy. So guess who's going to be the number one target? It's going to be between Kyle Pitts. It's going to be between Kyle Pitts. So in a sense, and he's the replacement. You get what I'm saying? Because it's really kind of an in-between thing.
Q, last season, real quickly before we move on to Bobby with this, last year Calvin Ridley had an outstanding year, and he was snubbed from the Pro Bowl. Now, do you think Calvin Ridley, seeing that Julio isn't there anymore, learning everything he learned from Julio Jones, is he going to take that next step?
I believe he can. I believe that he can. The reason why I say is because when you have, and I don't want to go back to Kyle Pitts, but when you have a specimen like that on the field, that takes most of the attention off of the people or the rest of the personnel on the field. And you literally have to pick your poison with our offense. I don't care if you 6 and 12, 13 and 3. Every week, you got to pick your poison. So when it comes to number one, does he have to rush up on some things? Yes, he's still, as of last year, he was, making a lot of rookie mistakes. There was a lot of passes that he had and didn't have in stride. And instead of just pushing forward, you're backing up. You're trying to run around when you should just be going forward. It's mistakes like that he has the pressure on. I believe that he can be a number one receiver and he can push forward and do what he needs to do.
Okay, cool. Bobby, what are your thoughts on Kyle Pitts and replacing Julio Jones?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what other people have been saying, Julio Jones is not replaceable. Somebody at that level who did it for that long, it's impossible to replace Julio Jones. But when you talk about physical makeup, someone who's bigger, faster, stronger than the people who will be guarding him, someone who's a matchup nightmare, he's going to be a really good receiving option for the Falcons. I also think putting that kind of pressure on a rookie is really dangerous because we've seen that he's a top-tier athlete. We've seen that he could dominate. But, having all this pressure, he's the next Megatron, he's the next Julio. I'm just hoping, it doesn't get to his head. But like I said last time, I think he's going to be a Pro Bowler, if not this year, the next year. So he's going to be amazing.
Okay. Jalen, what are your thoughts on this subject and Kyle Pitts replacing Julio Jones?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. We're talking about Julio, who might be or is arguably the greatest wide receiver of this current generation, And so I don't see how any one player can replace Julio Jones. But we're talking about Kyle Pitts, who might also be the greatest tight end prospect we've ever seen. So if anyone could potentially do it, it would be him and all the weapons that are around him. I think as a team, they can potentially. Okay. But expecting Kyle Pitts to do it by himself is just putting too much on his plate early,
Okay. Before we move on to the next subject, Jalen, do you feel like it was a mistake for the Falcons to get rid of Julio Jones?
Well, as a Titans fan, no. But as a Falcons fan, I don't really think I think they didn't have a choice in the matter. Honestly, you know,
Like how you just did that.
with the way he went about things, with what he wants, they had to get rid of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I understand that. The whole situation was awkward. There's a lot of upset Falcon fans still, but hopefully, and I see it in the comments, a money move. Hopefully Julio continues to do great things, and hopefully Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, and the rest of this, which is a pretty deep wide receiver and tight end core of the Falcons, could take over. Let's talk about the biggest strengths and weaknesses, surprises for the Falcons this season. Back to you, Travis. What's your comments on this? What's the biggest strength you see with this Falcons team? Biggest weakness?
Well, I know people gonna probably jump on me for this, but the biggest strength for us is the quarterback play. That is the biggest strength for us. Matt Ryan to the receiving core. That's the biggest strength.
Gonna have me pass out over here.
No, I'm just saying, but I mean, it's just the fact, man. That's the biggest strength for us. Matt Ryan's play, like I said, him still passing for over 4,000 yards. You know what I mean? 26 TDs, 11 interceptions. That's the strongest. That's the strongest thing for us as far as the offense goes. Matt Ryan to the receiving core. Our receiving core has always been strong, so that's what I see as the strongest for us.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this, Bobby? The strength of the Falcons, weaknesses, surprises, etc.
Yeah, I actually think their biggest strength is how badly they did last year, to be completely honest. Like people have been saying, you know, the offense is there, like the talent's there. And I think since they played so badly, Matt Ryan's going to have a chip on his shoulder. People are saying I've heard some people say Calvin Ridley isn't a wide receiver one. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I personally see the Falcons coming out strong and coming out, you know, just hopefully dominating the first couple weeks. But yeah, I would say their strength right now is that everybody is just sleeping on them, assuming that, oh, that's an easy matchup. I'm sure NFL teams don't really do that, but you know how fans are. Oh, we're playing the Falcons this week. They were so bad last year. But I think that it's going to be a big turnaround, and I think that you shouldn't be sleeping on them this year.
Okay, what's your thought?
Let me say this.
Okay.
Let me piggyback off that, Jansen. As far as people saying Ridley's not a number one, Nate, no, I've always argued this. Ridley is a number one. He proved it last year. He had over 1,000-something yards, 9 TDs last year. That was mostly without Julio. So he's definitely number one. He proved that he can do that without Julio. So he's definitely number one. So moving on.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, before we get to that, I do want to say this, though. I just love his footwork. His in and out of the breaks. I love how Ridley does that. I think he's going to continue to mature as a player. Right. Is he going to be a top 3, top 5 receiver? I think so. But all of it'll tell. We'll see how Arthur Smith brings in this offense. But to you now, Nate, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this Falcons team?
Well, after listening to some of y'all's other comments, I had to basically just change my whole perspective about this question on the fly. And I noticed, Chuck Thomas, you basically took the words right out of the mouth. The biggest strengths that I believe this year is the new coaching staff, Arthur Smith and Dean Pease. For the simple fact, Arthur Smith is going to bring that different dynamic, utilize the run game. He's going to make a big emphasis on applying the run game to offset our passing. Knowing our passing has carried us for the past 3 to 4 years, he knows the importance of running the ball and controlling the line of scrimmage. Dean Pease actually hopefully utilizing every aspect of our defensive talent, especially the strength that I think we have on defenses, which is the linebackers, to make it easy, throwing the optimism blitzes to confuse the quarterback.
Okay. Nate, I'm glad you brought up the linebackers and stuff. A lot of people nationally outside of Atlanta, they don't know a lot about Foye Oluokun. His upside, talk to me a little bit about him and what we should expect from him coming into next season.
I mean, you just look at his past resume. I mean, the dude was a safety running a mid 4.4 4.5 at 215. Then they utilize him at linebacker. He can blitz, he can cover, he can actually control the line of scrimmage and set the edge. He is a perfect piece, a sideline to sideline linebacker, and also a perfect covered linebacker. You can't ask for much that this man can't do. And you put him next to Deion Jones, I mean, that's a win-win combination. Pick your poison between those two. You can run your defense pretty much any way you can.
Okay. Cool. Jalen, your thoughts on the strengths and weaknesses of this Falcons team coming into 2021?
Yeah, definitely kind of echo what everyone said. It's the passing game and the new coach. I mean, I think Dan Quinn was in Atlanta a little longer than he might have should have been. And so was so glad to see a new face, especially Arthur Smith, given the fact that we went out and drafted a tight end, number 4 overall. And, you know, Arthur Smith started off as the tight ends coach for the Tennessee Titans. So I think if anyone can effectively utilize 2 talented tight ends, in him and Hayden Hurst, it would be Arthur Smith. And then also, yeah, like you said, we have 2 of probably the fastest linebackers in the league who can match up even with some receivers, and they can cover every tight end and running back there is. So those are 2 great strengths for the team this year.
Okay. Speaking of echo, it sounds like we got rid of the echo. I know there's some people complaining about it. It sounds like the echo's gone. Maybe it was me. My bad, fellas. But Q, what's your thoughts on the strengths and weaknesses of this Falcons ball club going into 2021?
Oh man, biggest strength. I would have to say the biggest strength right now I see overall is our wide receiver core. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I mean, weaknesses, defense.
Definitely the defense.
It's just unproven. We got a lot of nice guys, but it's just unproven right now.
Okay.
We don't know. And the biggest surprise, I think, would be the defense.
and it's the pass rush, man. Like the pass rush is the biggest weakness, I think, for us because somebody got to step up. Who's it going to be? I mean, we got Dante Fowler, but besides that, I mean, we got AO from Notre Dame that we drafted, and we got Taquan Graham and Marlon Davidson, and you know, Stephen Means and Tatui Mariner. But who's going to step up? That's the biggest weakness to me.
Q, last week we discussed Dante Fowler Jr. We've been talking about him a lot, how he needs to show up. Give me your thoughts on what we should expect from him. And it sounds like you might have been disappointed in him last season. What's your expectations for him before we move on to the next question? Do you see him performing better with Dean Pease there, or do you think that we saw the best of Dante Fowler Jr. when he was with the Rams and he's just overrated?
I'm going to tell you this, man. His best days were when he was alongside Aaron Donald. He either got 8 sacks or he broke, I believe the year before he got to the Falcons, he broke 15 sacks, I believe. He broke a double-digit sack season before he got to us, which actually, you know, when it comes to contract obligate or, you know, contractual situations in business and stuff like that, you have leverage to go where you want to go and get paid how you want to get paid. I believe
I think he had 12 sacks.
12. Yeah, he was double digit, but you know, he
is it a mental thing, Q? Is I was trying to get at, do you think he just doesn't have it?
Not with him. This is not a Vic Beasley thing.
Okay.
Because if you look at the spots that he had last year, he spent his time injured last year. But guess who I saw flying all over the field at one point before he was injury ridden like he was? It was Dante Fowler Jr. Guess who I saw holding up the goal line when nobody else was? It was Dante Fowler Jr. Yeah. The only thing was he was not consistent. He was injury ridden. But if he would have stayed, I would give him 9 or 10 sacks. And I want to say this. Because people look at stats, and stats don't tell the story.
That is true.
Let me tell you, I'd rather be Dante Fowler getting 9 sacks and going to the Super Bowl in 2017 than being Vic Beasley and getting 16 sacks and it not meaning a thing
in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but still, it's a lot when you look at it, and when you try to get into the factor of things, it's still a lot because you look at who the Rams played, you look at who Fowler and Donald lined up against, and then you look at all the rookie quarterbacks and all the rookie linemen that Beasley lined up against. You look at that too. That's a factor. I ain't taking nothing away from Beasley, but let's be honest. Beasley, it was a mental thing. And we heard that all over news reports when it came down to it. And with Fowler, he just got to be consistent. Stop being injured. And yeah, in some cases, it all depends on who you got lined up next to you. So, yeah, I mean, as long as they line him up next to Grady Jarrett, I think he's going to be high.
I love the breakdown. Let's get right into the pass rushers. We saw what happened with Mingo. We're not going to go over a disturbing story. Bobby, I want to start with you. Do they need to pursue another pass rusher now that Mingo is gone? Some people thought Mingo being coached up by Pease, he might show us something, even though I thought throughout his career in the NFL, he's been a little bit disappointing.
I mean, to answer it simply, yeah. The Falcons were, I believe they were last in passing yards per game last year. Like, passing yards given up per game. I mean, they need to get pressure on the quarterback. If you give an NFL quarterback 10 seconds in the pocket, someone's going to get open. They're going to make the throw. So, the defense was a big weakness for the Falcons last year. A big part of that was the pass rush. And I think if they get someone off the edge or someone who can rush the quarterback, then it'll make a huge difference for their defense.
Okay. Bobby, I want to just ask you this because we do have some Tampa Bay fans in the group chat and stuff like that. And they're basically saying, hey, look, a lot of the stuff that's going wrong with the Falcons is Tom Brady. And I know you've seen Tom Brady throughout his career. You've covered him a lot. Do you feel like there is something mentally there with other teams, just Tom Brady just being in the division? Do you feel like that just kind of throws everybody off a little bit?
I mean, it could, but you'd really hope that when you get to the level of being a professional athlete, you're not, scared of someone or, Tom Brady's there, so therefore we can't be a good football team. I think if the Falcons have that mentality, then they need to do a lot of rebooting in the coaching. A lot of things have to be done if that's the mindset. I mean, of course, you have to respect what Tom Brady's done when you play him. He's a champion. He's the greatest football player of all time, the greatest winner of all time. But if you are a defender and you're lining up saying, oh, I'm about to get smoked because it's Tom Brady, then you shouldn't be on the field.
Well, I'll say he's the best quarterback of all time, not the best football player.
All right. Save that argument for another time. Time.
Nate, Mingo is gone. Disturbing news. Like I said prior, do they need to get a pass rusher? We've had conversations off air, me, you, and Travis. Great combos about this defensive line. Look, do they need to pursue somebody, or should we trust that during the season?
Well, I say it's a 50-50 thing. I say because I really like the players that we have, especially like some young cats that you can develop because they got good size. One player that I'm really wanting to see is Kobe Jones, Mississippi, 6'4", 260. I would like to see what he can bring to the table. And yes, he's a young cat. But if you just don't want to rely on Dante Fowler, Walker, I mean, you still got Fourier, you can move to the outside. I mean, yes, you can. I see us pursuing like a Justin Houston. I don't even know who else is out there since Ingram signed with Pittsburgh. So I think that'd be probably the only option that you have at this particular moment. Yeah. But I mean, before the season, I'd rather see what we got, see what we can do with these cats, and see how the development goes.
Absolutely. I'm thinking maybe we can get something even more, and he's done a great job, even more out of Grady Jarrett. I think we could get more out of Grady Jarrett and hopefully Dante Fowler Jr. And I've been very critical of him, even with the injuries. I know, Q, you had a great breakdown on that. I've been very critical of him. I'm expecting big things out of him this season. Let's go back to you, Q. Break down on the defensive line. Do you see them bringing somebody in, or should we just stick to our guns and say, hey, Pease is going to figure this out? Quinn didn't know what he was doing. we have the right guy. He can coach these guys up, and the Falcons hopefully could be top 12, top 13 in sacks, or consistently hit the quarterback.
I take nothing away from Pease and what he's done, because he's broken down many offenses over his time. He's a well-renowned Super Bowl defensive champion. It's 90% mental, 10% physical. I say bring a Justin Houston in, let him mentor them guys. I believe that's why Vic Beasley was able to do a part of the reason. That's why Vic Beasley was able to do what he did that year. People forget Dwight Freeney was on the team that year, and I honestly, before that, okay, we can talk about D Block, we can talk about Pat Kearney's and stuff like that, but it's been a while since I've seen them guys get off the line like that and actually use certain maneuvers and things of that nature. It wasn't until Freeney came in and gave what he knew in Indianapolis. So I say bring a Justin Houston in. Let him, give his expertise, because he was also up there in Indianapolis. That's one thing they know how to do, is draft defensive ends up there.
Yeah.
Bring him down. Let him mentor the line. We got guys. For short, I call him Ogun, so I won't mess his name up. The guy that we just drafted from Notre Dame. We got guys like that can easily use that, that IQ boost and that expertise on how to get to the quarterback from the inside or the outside. So honestly, to answer your question, bring somebody in.
Okay, that great breakdown on that. Jalen, your thoughts on coming into the season? Defensive line, huge question all the time, really, with the Falcons every single year for the most part since the Super Bowl. Do you think they bring somebody else in, or is Pease? Is he this genius? Is the hype real around Atlanta where he's going to change the defense around?
See, I believe in the addition by subtraction of Dan Quinn again. I think that at certain points, Dan Quinn kind of playing scared with the defense. And I think Dean Pease will bring a lot more aggressiveness, which will definitely be a boost to the pass rush itself, and just that alone, I think. But yeah, I mean, year in and year out, I really hope they bring someone in, because I can even think about 2 years ago when the Falcons were starting off the season slumping, and me and all my friends were like, man, maybe they end up with the first pick and they get Chase Young, and that would have been a dream come true right there.
Yeah.
I feel you, Jalen.
I wanted Chase Young. I wanted him.
Hey, Jalen, hearing you talk about it, man, it's like nobody was excited more when you see a new coaching staff and stuff like that. I know you're happy about this.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, if they would have kept Kyle Shanahan after that Super Bowl and got rid of Dan Quinn, I would have been cool with that.
Hey, don't get people started.
That is a good scenario. Yeah.
That is a whole discussion right there. Travis, your thoughts on potentially bringing in another pass rusher or just relying on DPs? Coach these guys up.
I like Dean Pease to coach the new guys up, but I would like to take a shot at Justin Houston, just because, like you say, him being a veteran, man, he can help these young guys and help them to develop pass rush moves for the ones that don't have a full arsenal of them. And like I say, I'll take his 8 sacks. People might call him old, but he had 8 sacks last year. I'll take that. Yeah, you know I mean,
so that's leading our team.
Right. I'm gonna say for us not to have no pass rush, we're being very picky right now.
Yeah,
like beggars can't be choosers. That's what we are right now.
Absolutely. So, Travis, I want to stick to you real quickly. Some of the comments are coming in, some great questions. Andre Robinson, appreciate this question. I like it. Let's ask Travis this one. Does having a division with 2 new quarterbacks help the Falcons' chances of making the playoffs?
Well, it definitely helps, because they got to learn new offenses and get continuity and chemistry with new players. And when we already have a veteran quarterback that's established with the players that he has, and of course he got to learn new offense. But I think Matt Ryan will learn the offense a lot quicker before those other quarterbacks will. He's a veteran. He's been doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be an issue for him, but it definitely helps us than hurt us.
Okay. Cool. Let's talk wide receiver. And many of you guys on this panel have said that's one of the strengths of this team. But N'Keal Harry, he's been linked to the Falcons in numerous reports. Personally, let me just get my opinion on this. I think there's no need for him. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't think he needs to be in Atlanta at all. I can understand not being happy with the Patriots. They have a whole situation over there. Sorry, Bobby. Just got to be honest. Our quarterback situation, it's a little bit shaky. You do have the great coach. I don't think the Falcons need him. Q, I want to start with you on this one. Should the Falcons look even deeper into bringing in Harry, or just focus on that bad defense?
Let me see. Let me do something real quick. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
Oh man, take your time.
Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Zacchaeus, Tajay Sharp, Christian Blake, Jeff Badette. Don't know who that is. Frank Darby, Antonio Nunn. Don't know who that is. Austin Trammell, Jawan Green, and Chris Rowland, which I got a little bit on Chris Rowland. Man, look here. It's like 40 million receivers on the team. Y'all know how we do. We always cycle them out. We keep our 1 and our 2, and we cycle out the 3, 4, and the 5. Unless he can be better than Zacchaeus. I don't see that happening because Tajay Sharp could possibly be the 2, but he's going to be the 3. So if you're going to bring Harry in to be the 4th or the 5th, I don't think so. And I actually watched him play last year. They're showing the Patriots up here in Charlotte, and I'm not going to totally blame all of that on Cam, but nah, bro, he can stay where he at. Right out the contract and do what you got to do. Your numbers were not good enough, even at the 3. Your numbers were not, pleasant. And, I'm not going to say that because, like I said, numbers don't tell the whole story. I wasn't able to watch every Patriots game, but nah.
Okay, Bobby.
Especially when you got Cam Newton, but anyway.
I want to go to you now, Bobby. I know you're smiling the whole time. You probably know Harry the best. Is this a guy that the Falcons should look at? Is there something we're not seeing? Am I hating? I don't think they should make the trade.
No. The Falcons should stay very, very far away from him. Here's what I see. I mean, a couple years ago, he was a first-round draft pick. I'm pretty sure he might have been one of the, if not the highest receiver Belichick's ever drafted. Mm-hmm. And he basically came in with that mentality that, all right, I'm the first-round pick. You're going to give me the ball, and that's that. He didn't get the ball. Yeah, is Cam Newton an elite quarterback? No. But to have his agent last year publicly blaming Cam Newton in training camp and throughout the season for not giving him the ball enough, that's just not really the type of mentality you want on your team. It didn't seem like he was a team player. And honestly, I mean, this is coming from a Patriots fan, but if Bill Belichick has lost faith in you, I would stay away from that player if I was another team.
Sounds like a good point. If Bill Belichick loses faith in you, that can't be a good thing. Nate, Harry to the Falcons, does that sound good to you?
Absolutely not. I looked at enough of film to realize at first I thought he was going to kind of give me some kind of Mohamed Sanu vibes, but I was wrong. He's big. That's probably the only plus I can give him. 6'3", 6'4", 220, 230. But it's real stiff. Not a great route runner. And that's one thing to be that big and not to be limited with speed, you got to be able to run routes.
So Laquan basically is better.
So I'll pass on him. But I was highly on him when he came out of college. But
yeah, and I want to say this. I want to say this too, and off what Nate was saying. And if you're talking about N'Keal Harry, I told Nate I would rather look at Dez Bryant, bringing in another big body like that, another big body receiver for us.
Absolutely.
Like for third and eights, he's a good possession guy. We don't need him to go downfield and catch deep passes. We got other receivers for that. Just have him specifically for using him as a big body receiver, short yardage, using his body, 50-50 catches, red zone.
Right.
Okay, wow. Look, hopefully Harry doesn't watch this show because we're talking about Dez Bryant. We're talking about Dez Bryant over Harry.
I'm just saying, if we talking about N'Keal Harry, I mean, I think Dez Bryant would be a better option.
Yeah, absolutely. N'Keal Harry was a deep threat who couldn't make it down the field, so it was tough. Right. When he wasn't there, so it's tough to justify going out of your way to get him.
I feel you, Jalen. Travis kind of went ahead of you. I was going to throw you in there first, but last but not least, are you with everybody? Is Harry just not a guy to look at? It's just a crazy question, period. Knowing all the problems the Falcons had on defense last year, we even bring up rumors, which literally anybody could start on them bringing in a wide receiver.
I mean, he was a first-round pick at one point in time, so if you can get him for a 6th or a 7th, why not? But, I mean, all I'm going to say is it just took a couple of games for Tom Brady to say, I need to go to Tampa Bay where they have real wide receivers. He saw it pretty early. I think he could tell this guy has it or not. And I think seeing where he went answers that question by itself,
Right. I want to read some of the questions right now in the comments, and I appreciate everybody who's commenting. Andre Robinson, I'm sorry we haven't got to all your questions. You asked about like 9 or 10, and I appreciate you on that. Chuck Thomas, I'm seeing all the comments and stuff. You're not a huge fan of Justin Houston. I see that, and talk about Dirk Cutter and Lawrence Taylor being the GOAT. Hey, look, you throw him and Jerry Rice in there, and that's right up my alley, and Tom Brady. We can have a long discussion on that. But this is an interesting one.
You got to put prime time in there if you talking about GOATs, man. Only prime time can play, 3 doggone sports?
Yeah.
Be great at it.
Absolutely. And shoot, he's in the news for a couple things. Before we go to Matt Ryan, I know this one is going to that's always a topic in Atlanta, right? The sensitive one, the 50-50 argument with Matt Ryan. Geno Atkins. Look, he's been a productive player in the league. The Falcons, should they look at him? Does anybody want to answer this one? And Geno Atkins, Q, what's your thoughts on Geno Atkins?
Yeah. Like, bro. I understand these guys are older in age. They're on their way out. They're on their last leg of their careers. But both of them have been playing at high levels in Cincinnati with Geno and with Justin Houston in Indianapolis. As I said, bring them guys in, especially Geno, being the type of, whole stuffer that he was, being the type of sack man that he was. We got Marlon Davidson still sitting here. Now, he's another person. Of course, COVID, he got hit with the COVID protocol last year, but when he came in, he had glimpses of good plays as well. Sacks, I wouldn't say that, but getting pressure up the middle, yeah, but not all the time. So that's another guy that you can bring in. I mean, all these, 1-year contracts they're not prove-it contracts. Honestly, we're strapped for cash right now. Some of this is, let me fill this hole and let me make sure, we can get over to 2022 and 2023, and we know what's happening then.
Right.
All the floodgates gonna open with all the money coming to it. So I say if you can get these guys on, $1 million, $1.5 million deal, a couple of incentives, why not? You bring in, guys in that got high IQs and that were good at what they were doing. So yeah, I say bring him in too.
Okay, absolutely. Anybody got any thoughts on? Want to talk about Geno Atkins?
Yeah, let me chime in. I mean, I can contest what Q was saying. Why not? Because I totally agree. I mean, at the same time, Justin Houston, that's 2 veterans that you can bring on a young defense, a la add in with Grady Jarrett, Dante Fowler. Just imagine how much football they can teach newcomers, the rookies, and just show them how easy it is just to play football instead of trying to overthink everything. Just simplify in between the lines on the field and let the coaches do their job. Like those 2 players could play a very intricate parts in our defense. So I say bring them in.
Cool. Great breakdown. Anybody else? Bobby, you got anything on Geno Atkins potentially to the Falcons, linking his name there? Do you think that benefits them at all?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what everyone's saying. I think, like Q was saying, you put $1 to $1.5 million and this dude can basically help the rest of your defensive line be better, teach them the game, have them have a good mindset. I mean, it's a perfect solution. I mean, it's an ideal solution if it works, of course. Right. Might as well pay the 1-year contract to get the rest of your young guys a little bit more confidence. So yeah, definitely would be beneficial.
Cool. Travis, Geno Atkins. Does this sound like a good idea for the Falcons? Bring him in, bring some toughness to the team on the defensive side of the ball.
I would love it personally. Like I say, bring him in as a package deal. Bring him and Justin Houston in. Teach these young guys up. You already know you got some veteran leadership. You already know what they're capable of and what they're gonna do. They're gonna make things happen here. So I would love to have both of them as a package deal. Definitely.
Cool. Jalen, any thoughts on Geno? It seems like everybody's showing him love. Tough guy.
I mean,
always been a pretty good player in the league.
I mean, if you bring him in, I'm 99% sure he's a starter on our D line, correct?
Oh yeah.
So you might as well at that point. You know, if you can get a starter for that cheap, bring him in.
Put him beside Grady Jarrett, and then you got Foul on the other side, and then that other side is up for grabs between Ayo, Stephen Means, Tatui Mariner, whoever. Taquan Graham, Marlon Davis, that's up for grabs pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't got to really rush nobody else. Like, say if Marlon Davis still lingering on COVID or his knee injury he had prior to last year. I mean, you can basically just slowly step him in, but he should be ready. But like TQ, AO, I mean, AO will be playing outside linebacker, but like Kaminsky, well, we already know Deidre Sinat ain't going to be on the team, so we ain't even going to mention his name. Sorry I even spoke it. But it just gives us an extra rotated piece.
Yeah, shout out to Sinat. Look, you got mentioned. Right?
So rude.
Except for when we go to 4-3. I will say when we go to 4-3, you'll see you can see AO in there at defensive end. So
all right, cool. Reminding everybody we're presented by Your Future Media, Got Skills Pro for assembly and handyman furniture services in Atlanta. Visit gotskillspro.com. Also, Facebook group Birds of Prey ATL. Go join that group. Talk Falcons literally every day. Nate, Travis do a great job running that page. Also, y'all, socks for customized socks. Look, click on the Instagram page. It's going to be in the description. Get yourself some swag and some customized socks. Let's go into Matt Ryan and him coming into this season.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got right into it. Nate, hat coming off already. He's ready. We're going to have to start with Nate on this one, but Matt Ryan.
You see what happens? You see what happens when you mention Matt Ryan?
We mentioned Matt Ryan. Nate, he was ready before I even finished the question. Nate was like, hey, Jesse.
You know what? Got my figurine up there. That's Matty Ice, baby.
Look, we're going to start with you on this, Nate. 36 years old. Last year, a lot of the talk was, and this was a 50-50 argument, right? Is it Dirk Cutter is messing things up? It's not Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's always had bad coaching. I hear that from a lot of people. Some people are saying Matt Ryan's clutch. Some people are saying he isn't. Coming into this season, Nate, we'll start with you. Is Matt Ryan a top 10 quarterback?
I would say yes. I'll put him as a solid 7, maybe 8. Give between them. I can honestly put Matt Ryan in the top 10. Yes, he is. He don't have the strongest arm, but he is accurate as hell. Very accurate. He can throw the ball, but he don't have a missile cannon that everybody portrayed that most quarterbacks should have. But he can throw the ball, but he's accurate, very accurate. And that's something that most quarterbacks do not possess. Now, Arthur Smith bringing in a solid running game to offset him. Yes, I can see him keep continuing to put up optional numbers year in and year out.
Okay. Nate, I got I got to hit you with a follow-up question, stuff like that. Look, let me know speak to the other 50% of the people in Atlanta and stuff like that, because Matt Ryan has a lot of haters. I guess sometimes
Matt Ryan always going to be always going to have some haters.
Look, you're saying he could be a top 7, top 8 quarterback next year, and I'm not going to question you on that. Tell me what the haters aren't seeing in Matt Ryan, because obviously you're high on him. If you're saying he's 7 or 8 and there's some qualities that other quarterbacks don't have, what are they not seeing? What are people overlooking with Matt Ryan?
It's just the consistency that he brings. Yes, every quarterback is not going to be perfect, but he has consistency. Missed 3 games in 13 seasons, dog. You can't teach that. This man is a damn Iron Man, if you so to speak. Like he just don't get hurt. And mind you, this man gets hit damn near every third snap he takes the ball. And he keeps on getting back up. Yeah. I can't think of one quarterback that does that, but yet still people hate him. He comes in, he does his job, and he does it well. Yes, he's not perfect. Ain't nobody is. But, I mean, he's going to eventually get replaced, but as of right now, we got him, so deal with it. That's my point, right? Deal with it.
I want to go to Jalen next because while you were giving your explanation on him being top 7 or 8, Jalen, he got that look on his face.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I
mean,
Jalen,
I agree with what you said about the consistency. He is probably one of the most consistent quarterbacks year in and year out. I just think there's so many good quarterbacks in the league right now. That's my only thing. I put him he's almost top 10. He's like, I put him kind of in the same tier of guys that I look at as like Baker Mayfield and Justin Herbert. Oh. But he's more consistent and more proven. In terms of like top 10.
Hold on, Q. We going to you next. I know you think that's funny.
I ain't got nothing to say. Yo,
Jalen, you still got. I still want you to explain. You feel me? The Baker Mayfield and Herbert. You're about to get it. Like, he walked away. Let's explain that.
But I would probably take Matt Ryan
Baker
over
Mayfield
purely because he's more experienced.
I hear you.
Okay, cool. Q, look, this has been a fun discussion so far. Like, he ain't playing today. Q was like, look, man, I might have to do a lap or I got to see Jalen. I don't know what he's talking about. Q, give me your explanation. Is he top 10? And do you have anything to say to Jalen or this?
I'm about to go cut the grass. I got to. Nah, seriously though, I'm laughing. The only thing that I disagree with is you putting him on the level of Baker Mayfield and Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert's cool. He's just getting in the league. He's doing well.
Right.
I'm gonna let him stay over there in San Diego or LA, wherever he at. But all right, statistically, Matt is top 10. Statistically, being a consistent quarterback, top 10. But his days of being clutch have been long gone for a long time. Matt used to be clutch. Matt, it was one point in time where Matt had the most fourth-quarter comebacks in the league. That was
only
one
behind Peyton Manning.
And that's how he got. We know how he got the name.
Matty Ice.
Oh man, last year it was tough because most of the yardage that he gained last year was first through the third quarter. He was running and gunning. He did great. Just so happened he couldn't close none of it out this year. He couldn't close none of the games out this year when he got back on the field. We know what the defense did. So it's not really a blame thing. To answer your question, because I know I can go down the list of a number of things. If we're talking about right now, with every quarterback that's in the league, I would put him at 10.
Okay.
I would put him at 10.
And look, Q, and you did a phenomenal job breaking everything down. Give me your Twitter afterwards, man, because that's going to be a whole discussion on the clutch gene when it comes to Matt Ryan.
I got to make a Twitter because I'm not even on there. Like,
I'll tell you this, Q. For what you just said about the clutch thing, there's going to be 50% people in Atlanta go like, man, he's our hero now. Q speaking the facts. And 50% going to be like, man, where he live at?
I'm with all that. Come see me, like I say all the time. But nah, seriously, when you break down the games, and you can pass this on to whoever you know who's next on the panel. But when you break down these games over the last few years, this man been here for 14 years. And for the first half, of his career, he's been phenomenal and still phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But as explosive as he was back then, he's not now. His decline has shown to be quicker than other quarterbacks that have came in the league. When you got people like Aaron Rodgers that are still playing at a high level, he's just not satisfied with where he is. You might need to rethink some things. When you got people like, how can I say? Dare I say Big Ben, who's on the decline as well, and I watched him playing at the level that he's playing at. but he's injury riddled right now. He going through his whatever he going through because he want to be on the Steelers, and they trying to usher in a new regime or a new quarterback regime or whatever you want to say. You got Tom, just came down here. He's more of a likable person now that he was Tampa Bay than he was at the Patriots. I hate that I'm saying this, but even you got Tom Brady playing, and he's been playing for 20-some odd years, I guess, and he's still playing at the level that he's playing at, getting hit just like Matt getting hit, at least while he was in Tampa. I ain't going to say nothing about being in New England. You got guys like that still playing at a high level, and when you put all of them and you line all of them up, I'm sorry. I've been watching the same games that y'all been watching. I just digest a little differently. That man's decline came in year 11.
Okay. Q.
So, yeah.
I appreciate that take and the passion. Travis, let's go to you on this one. Matt Ryan, top 10 quarterback next year, yay or nay?
Well, y'all pretty much took all the answers, man, with the crap. But pretty much, I mean, what can I say after that? All I can say is, will he be a top 10 quarterback? You talking about this year going in, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, I would say that. Okay, listen, I'll say it this way: Matt Ryan statistically is always top 5 quarterback statistically. But if you're just talking about like his talent level and just is he a top 10 player, he's probably more around 11, 12, somewhere around there. If we talking about that, but if we talking about stat wise, yeah, he's a top 5 player. But I think he'll finish somewhere. I think he'll finish in the top 5 personally. I really do. I really do believe he'll finish top 5, top 6 as quarterback play this year.
Okay. Last but not least, Bobby, your thoughts? Matt Ryan, top 10 quarterback.
I mean, in my personal opinion, if you have Matt Ryan in your top 10, I think he has to be number 10. I think, like I said, all due respect to him with his consistency and everything like that. But, you know, when it comes to coming into this year, I can probably name 10, maybe 11 quarterbacks who I'd rather have running my team than Matt Ryan. But, you know, if he's not in the top 10, then he's in the top 12, top 13 easily, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, what are we going on though? Like, what are we going on? His statistically, is that what we're going on, or are we going on just what we feel?
I'm just going on what y'all feel. You feel me? However you feel about it.
Honestly, I was gonna say the reason why I put him there, honestly, is because the system. I won't even say the system because it's still West Coast offense. But how Arthur Smith is going to run this offense is going to be play action heavy, just like it was when Ryan Tannehill was there. I don't know if people know, but Ryan Tannehill was with the Dolphins, and it was like the bubonic plague down in Miami. They didn't like Ryan Tannehill. When he went to Tennessee, all of a sudden he's the man because they played to his strengths. They play, they balance the game of football on offense. So it wasn't pass heavy. His stats weren't pretty, but guess what? They made it to divisional championships, AFC championship games, all of that stuff. And when they did the play action, and which that's another thing, when they did that play action, or when they ran play action as much as they did, Tannehill looked like a monster.
Yeah. So
when you know what the strengths are when it comes to Matt, one of those is play action.
Absolutely.
And when you run it right and you have the right personnel,
play action and hurry up offense. That's his number one thing.
Exactly.
While he's running a hurry up offense and his play action, that's when Matt Ryan is the strongest.
Yeah. And I want to add something that Travis said that I really like is I don't know if going into this season he's a top 10 quarterback, but I think at the end of the season he'll be in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think this is a really big opportunity with Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley if they stay healthy, and like with Arthur Smith incorporating the run, the play action like you guys were talking about, it could be a statistical and just good year for Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Totally.
And like I said, I'm going by based on if everybody stay healthy now. If everybody stay healthy, then I think he'll be top 5, top 6. Because I mean he shouldn't have even spoke on it.
Don't knock on some wood.
We talking statistically. He's no, I'm just saying, but he's always efficient, and like you say, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks. He's got a 93.3 rating for crying out loud. Like I say,
Yeah.
4,581 yards passing, almost the last 3-4 years. 26 TDs, 11 interceptions. That's pretty damn good. Now, the rest of the team got to step up and help him on that, and then we can be a lot better.
Hey, love all y'all takes on that. Before we end the broadcast, I want to go back to Jalen and back to the Baker Mayfield thing and this and that. For what you're saying when it comes to that, I'm just asking, you feel me? Have you seen, is it a feeling like, okay, I seen Matt Ryan in 2016, and that was probably his peak, and it's just a big decline, and people are just feeling a little sorry and just they're used to the past and stuff like that? Do you feel like it's more of that feeling of why you think, okay, he's probably middle of the pack at this point, and he's 36?
I mean, it's like I said, I just think, so when you ask me like top 10 quarterbacks, the way I always think of this question is, if there was a game and my life was on the line, who would I want quarterbacking the team? And I would name 10 quarterbacks for sure before Matt Ryan. And then I think in terms of that, the next guys I would think of would be Matt Ryan, and then probably like Baker Mayfield and Justin Herbert, just given off what we've seen. I understand that they have a way smaller sample size. So I'm just going, like, especially Justin Herbert, I'm going off of 1 year. But that's just kind of the way I always look at it. And I don't by any means think Matt Ryan is bad. I think he's still an above average quarterback. I still think he's a good to great quarterback, you know?
All right, Jay, look, I respect the breakdown and stuff like that. I just need to go back on that one because that was pretty interesting and stuff like that. Because there are a lot of people who do believe that, look, Matt Ryan is good, but maybe he's getting too much credit. But fellas, I want to thank all you guys, Bobby, Nate, Q, Jalen, Travis, did a heck of a job. Let's run it back next week. Let's continue this Falcons talk.
Yes, sir.
We're presented by Your Future Media, Got Skills Pro. Again, visit for handyman assembly, furniture work, gotskillspro.com, Birds of Prey ATL Facebook group. Nate and Travis do a heck of a job keeping you updated on Facebook each and every day. Y'all Socks for customized socks. Click on the Instagram page. It will be in the description. Fellas, thank you. Great job. Another great show.
Appreciate it.
Interesting.
Thank
And
you.
look,
Appreciate you
thank the
guys.
fans out there. Yep, and thank the fans out there too as well in the comments, giving us comments for them to break it down, and especially on that defensive line. I think you guys were really strong on those takes and giving that a transparent take on that. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bet.